Hey everyone, it's Simon with EverFit Strategies, and again I've got a pretty open gym, so I just wanted to go over rotator cuff warm-up. I see a lot of people doing some things with dumbbells in the gym that I can only assume are intended to warm up the rotator cuff, I've asked some people. One person told me that they were trying to open up their chest by doing this exercise. I'm going to show you the exercise that I see people doing and kind of explain what I see wrong with the exercise and explain to you what I would do to warm up the rotator cuff and why it's more applicable and would be better for the rotator cuff. All right, stick around. So, as I said, I see a lot of people grabbing dumbbells and they're holding them out like this and they're doing this motion. Now, although the motion is correct for the rotator cuff, the resistance against gravity and everything is not correct. The rotator cuff, if you see, when you're rotating, the rotation is happening on a horizontal plane. The weight and resistance, when you hold it out here, is going down that way. So if you think about it, when you rotate and you put resistance out here, you're actually kind of kicking that off axis, and now you're rotating. So that's actually not very good for the rotator cuff. I'm not really sure why people are doing this, other than the fact that people see other people doing exercises in the gym and they just mimic those, thinking that they're doing a proper exercise. And a lot of the time people are shown exercises by people who spend a lot of time in the gym but don't actually, they have no actual certification, education, and clearly no real understanding of muscles and gravity and muscle contraction and basically anything that goes into working out, other than, I guess, they're here. But anyway, I'm going to show you an exercise that is actually good for the rotator cuff and can actually warm up the actual muscles of the rotator cuff. All right, stick around. So as I said, the rotator cuff, you're looking at rotating the arm inward, outward, internal rotation, external rotation. In order to get resistance against the internal rotation and external rotation, you obviously, if you put any thought into it, you don't want to weight in this hand because resistance isn't being placed in the right area. Resistance is going that way. So you need to grab either a tension band or some cables, very lightweight or low resistance, and you can, for internal rotation, start with your arm externally rotated, and now pull that cable in toward yourself for an internal rotation. The main thing here too is that you don't wind up doing a pec fly, okay? You pin this against your body and you actually focus on rotating the arm. Don't focus on pulling the handle, because when you focus on pulling the handle and lifting the weights, you can do that in many, many different ways. But only one of those ways is actually going to be an internal rotation, okay? So think about internally rotating. Don't think about pulling the handle and moving the weights, all right? So again, you have it started externally rotated, and then you do the internal rotation, all right? For external rotation, it's just a simple matter of turning around, starting with it internally rotated, and now doing an external rotation. All right? And again, we're not doing this with a lot of weight. We're not overloading the rotator cuff. We're not building up for the biggest weight that we can lift with an internal or external rotation. That's just silly. We're doing this to warm up, so don't use a lot of weight. Don't feel the need to pull and tug when you're doing it, because if you are, then you're using way too much weight. And believe it or not, even 5 pounds on the cable might be too much weight for the beginner. So that's why I say tension bands could help. All right, so if you found that informative, if you like that, if you've been doing it wrong and maybe you're gonna start doing it right, awesome. Leave a thumbs up, leave a comment. Don't forget to subscribe and, share it with your friends. All right? Thanks a lot.